This episode of the SuperHypeGaming podcast is brought to you by Nesquik. So Nesquik didn't really give me a long ad to read. They just wanted me to simply say, "Hail Satan." So thank you to Nesquik. So welcome everybody. Welcome. This is episode 4 of the SuperHypeGaming podcast, and now episode 1 of the Dino and Vinny show. So I am. I guess I'm the host now. I guess before you can't really host yourself, but I suppose with a guest, I am the host. So I am your host, Michael Flanagan, and I am joined by a good friend of mine, Habari Sama. So how you doing, buddy?
Hey. I'm chilling. I'm nervous.
Nervous? Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I think you're most famously known as the second person to listen to my podcast. No, so you're a streamer as well. You're a much bigger streamer than I am.
I don't know about much bigger. Come on.
You're much bigger. So you found me when I did my no death run in Dark Souls 2. You stopped by. I think you raided me, and kind of ever since then, you kind of invited me into your community. So you've got this really cool community where it's like a bunch of small streamers and you're kind of like you're pretty much like the Nick Fury of small streamers, I would say. You've got a really cool community. There's some really cool kind of smaller streamers in there, and I've made some good friends and some good connections through that. So yeah, if you want to shill your shit, this all shills no frills podcast. So tell the people where they can find you and just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Like you said, my name's Hibari Sama. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Hibari-sama _. Ugh.
Very important to get that underscore.
Yeah, no space between Hibari-sama. Definitely add the underscore. And at twitter.com/Hibari-sama, spelled the same way. And you can see my shit posts because that's all I do.
Posting for the rest of us, man. It's nice. I think I talked about it on a former podcast where it's like when it's just me, I can't even take a drink of water without there just being this long awkward pause. But now I can just like pass it off to you, and I can actually hydrate myself. So that's nice.
I'm gonna drink when you drink.
Okay, yeah, that'll be perfect. Blue loves it when there's the long awkward water drinking pause. He really does. It's his favorite part of the whole show. So yeah, so what have you been up to this week? What have you been watching or playing or just been interested in?
I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm a pretty lazy guy. First off,
yeah.
I sleep a lot. But recently I've on the Twitch channel I recently concluded the Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke, which my first time doing the Nuzlocke. It was fucking awesome.
Really, that was your first time?
First time.
First successful time or just first time like ever?
I guess technically first successful time, but that stream was the first time ever. We failed 4 times in the first stream.
Yeah, I think there were some restarts on that one, right?
Oh, definitely.
How many? What was
Quagsire?
What was the total dead pokes on that one? What was our total count?
Ooh.
I think it was over 10 million, right?
I think it was actually over 10 trillion.
Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, it was just purposeful. I'm just murdering everyone.
Purposeful poke murder
inside. Oh, yeah. Who else if not me? Skelly Lord, murder them all. Join the army. That was fun. It was really, really frustrating. And
what would you say your highest high and your lowest low of that Nuzlocke would be?
Ooh. Okay, lowest low is super easy. In one stream within the first fucking hour, 3 pokes died to 1-hit KO moves. What's the Farfetch, that fucker?
My boy. I love my boy Farfetch.
He got me with the guillotine and Team Rocket's hideout. And twice to just fucking wild Onyx using Fisher. And I've never felt so Okay, so it doesn't help that my chat loves to blow me up. I fucking love them to death. But you guys love to give me the most shit over everything. And I love it, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's easy to. You're easy to bully, so.
Oh my god. One day, you motherfuckers. I love you guys. Oh,
So
like,
after some
what's
resets,
happening?
you implemented
I
the Game
won.
Shark, and then
Okay.
things went much better, right? That's how that went.
Somehow Gobi 2 didn't die, so I must have been game sharking. His bones were brittle. He should have died.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted him to die. I'm just saying. Look, if you saw the stats, you'd believe me. But we won. We beat the Elite Four. I grinded my ass off. So we beat the Elite Four the second time. And then we beat Red. I beat his fucking ass. We had one casualty. We lost Crowbar, our Crobat. But and he been with us.
Big mouth.
Man. Rest in peace, mouth. I swear, you know. So that was a harsh blow, but we got revenge for him. And then Red cast himself off that fucking cliff. Feels good.
Did he do it for Athena?
Yep.
Cast himself off the highest peak in all of Kanto.
Yo, it had to be done, you know. He didn't say a word and was just like, "This is my fate," and accepted it, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah. So now you're playing BioShock, right?
I am. It's really fun. You know, I love being a plumber. And you know, fixing pipes and whatnot. It's pretty great. I spent so much time doing those mini games.
The hacking.
Yeah, I love that puzzle so much. Yeah, but I started BioShock. So first, you know, it wasn't even because of like the month of October and like spooky stuff that I was gonna do BioShock. I just really love the games, but it fits. So I'm gonna be going through all 3 BioShock games on
Oh wow.
Yeah, even Infinite, which actually really isn't all that scary at all. Infinite is legitimately not scary at all. It's more of an action shooter than it is like an actual like kind of horror game shooter.
Yeah. I haven't played either of them. BioShock 1 is definitely on the list. That's one of those games that's like, you know, you hear people talk about it as if it's just this instant classic. So it's definitely one that I want to get to. But yeah, we'll do a little
Infinite have those twists.
We'll do a little bit of Infinite talk later. we got a little bit of that in there. Just a smidge.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that all sounds exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
so for me this week, you know, yesterday I had my second of the acting workshops, and you know, again, I go there and it's mostly children, and so it's really hard to not want to eat all of the children while I'm there.
Hashtag eat the children.
Yeah. I think, you know, to save this podcast, we must eat the children. But yeah, it was fun. We did some more ad reads. That kind of takes up like most of the time is you're watching all the kids, all of the students, I guess I should say, read their ads and get critiques from the instructor, and then, you know, you go up there and read your ad. We did a little bit with like pantomiming and stuff like that. It's all weird because it's all stuff that I've done before. You know, I've done some improv and some pantomiming, and shit like that. But it's good. So that's like every other weekend until the 23rd of November when there's going to be like a showcase with a bunch of agents and stuff. So that'll be really exciting. Expect my Netflix special by the end of the year.
Okay. Oh,
November 24th. You know, the day after the agent signs me is when that will go up.
That's perfect. Right before Thanksgiving.
Yes. You can offend all of your family members with with whatever shit that I say on my special.
I've been told they call you White Dave Chappelle. I'm excited.
Yes, yes, I've been called White Dave Chappelle before. It's true. Uh, so other than that, I've been streaming some spooky games. The first week of October is finished. I played what the hell did I play? Oh, I played Man of Medan. Let me tell you about this game. It was okay. It was okay. Not as good as Until Dawn.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, it doesn't. It's not hitting me as hard as Until Dawn did.
I'm really surprised that Sony didn't just pick up Supermassive Games after Until Dawn, because Until Dawn was like this huge hit. Everybody loved that game. Everybody was streaming that game. Everyone was talking about it. But Sony just kind of let them go, and they did a bunch of weird shit afterwards. They made like the Until Dawn VR game. They made
they did.
Actually, they made two. They made like the rail shooter VR game, and then they made the Inpatient, which was like technically in the same universe as Until Dawn. But that got like mixed reviews. I think they made Bravo Team, which was that like weird kind of generic like army shooter VR game. And then they made Man of Medan, which is more similar to Until Dawn. And I think it's good. The game looks really good. It's got really good faces, which I'm all about. I love games with good faces.
Yeah, it does.
And I think it was okay. They've stated that they're gonna have like an anthology of this game, so they're all gonna be under the Dark Pictures anthology umbrella. So the game ends with a teaser for the next game, which is gonna be called Little Hope, which seems far more interesting than Man of Medan was. But yeah, it was fun. It was a short stream. It was like the game's like 5 hours long, so we did it in like 2 sessions. And then I played through Costume Quest 2, which I absolutely adored. That game was just super cute, super fun, super cozy. So really happy to have.
I didn't know that was a turn-based like RPG.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
ATB?
It's kind of similar to like Super Mario RPG and like Paper Mario and stuff, where you like choose your attack, and then you have the window where you time your attack and you do more damage, and you can, if you time it perfectly, you can get like a second attack in.
Wow.
And like when enemies attack you, you time it with their attack and you can block some damage. And it's pretty cool. There's like cards that you can use for different abilities to do different like buffs and debuffs and stuff like that. And all the costumes have like different abilities and stuff like that too. So yeah, that was really fun. Really, really kind of cute story. Really cozy Halloween game. So I'm happy to have played that.
Yeah, that's cool actually. I didn't notice that part.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Not bad.
Yeah, it was good. I'm not sure like how Costume Quest 1 is. Because just by like context, it seems like Costume Quest 1 was not about Halloween, which is kind of strange to me.
Right.
But yeah, so that's fun. Gonna be playing some more spooky games. We'll go over all that at the end of the podcast. We'll shill our shit some more at the end. You want to shill at the beginning and then shill at the end. I think that's the best way to do things.
I'm still working on it. The art of shilling.
Oh, I am a master at the art of shilling. Let me tell you.
Oh, bad.
I shill in my sleep. Okay, so now we can move into the podcast proper. So I've got my list here and all my tabs open. I've got a million fucking tabs open every time I do these. Okay, so our first, I think the biggest news story of this week is Sean Layden departing Sony. He was the chairman of SIE Worldwide Studios, and normally this would be kind of a whatever, like in and out kind of news story, but there's some wrinkles here. So this was announced on PlayStation's Twitter account September 30th, so this last Monday. And since then, Sean Layden has been complete radio silence. He hasn't said a word. His last Twitter interaction was he retweeted Neil Druckmann who was the director of Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. He retweeted one of his tweets, which was hyping up like the state of play that happened last week. But other than that, he hasn't said a word about him leaving Sony, which is strange. Because we have an example of like I think it's obvious that he hasn't retired, because we have an example just this year of somebody in a similar position retiring with Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo.
Oh man,
Because Reggie was great, and he announced his retirement like months in advance, and he announced like his last day. I think pretty quickly he announced like who was going to replace him with Doug Bowser. And so he was very active in that departure. And what's interesting too is that very same day that they announced that Sean was leaving, there was another manager. I have his name. It's like Asushi Morita, someone from Japan. I don't have like what position they were in, unfortunately, but they also announced their like retirement that same day. So it's a little weird.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty coincidental, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's some obvious shakeups happening at Sony. Earlier this year in February, the president and CEO of SIE Worldwide Studios, John Cadera, and the deputy president, Jim Ryan, basically switched positions. So Jim Ryan is now the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. And I think it's clear that Jim Ryan has some new visions for what PlayStation could be. And it's an interesting time to do this as well, because I think it's obvious that Sony is going to announce the PlayStation 5 early next year. I think it's obvious that it's going to launch, holiday of next year. Microsoft has already said that their next generation console is coming holiday 2020. Yeah, they said holiday 2020. So I can't imagine PlayStation would miss that. I think they're going to be
doing those tech demos.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like, last generation we had Jack Trenton in as the chairman, and he was there for the announcement of the PS4. He was there for the launch of the PS4, and then he left shortly after. So this will be interesting, because the PlayStation 5 now is going to be announced by someone totally brand new, and it's going to launch with someone totally brand new in that chairman position. So I think it's interesting. I think Sony is definitely mixing things up, and they've got some bold new plans, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know like what you thought of Sean Layden, if you even really cared.
I never really saw too much of him past, like, say, E3 conferences. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I don't always look into some of the big names unless they have a pretty active like online personality. Like, you go look at like Shuhei Yoshida, he's always tweeting something.
Yeah.
But he was considered to be one of the like kinder, friendlier guys. That, like, when people saw him, or when I'd see people talk about him, it wasn't just like a businessman. I was like, oh, it's Sean Layden.
He had kind of a softer demeanor. I think he did really well with like dressing up for E3 and then dressing down for like when they did their PlayStation experience events. I think he was good at kind of managing both of those personas. And I'll always remember him for that E3, which is like one of the best, in my opinion, is one of the best like modern E3 conferences, where they like announced The Last Guardian was coming back. And they like showed off the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter for Yu Suzuki. They had Final Fantasy 7 remake. I think that was the same year that they announced Horizon Zero Dawn, which is this brand new, exciting first party IP.
Guerrilla Games, right?
So yeah, I think he did a good job. There's some weirdness. I think there's some background politics that are at play here. But I'm interested to see who replaces him. I'm sure whoever does will be fine. I don't think there'll be any like controversy or drama with whoever replaces him. But it's an interesting mix up. It's an interesting time to do this. So yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what comes. So that's
It'll be
interesting. Like every gen,
yeah. This
a
position
new.
that's why it's kind of like this position is, any other day if it was just Sean Layden saying like, hey, I'm retiring, here's my replacement, it wouldn't be that big a news story because people in these positions and people in this position at similar companies, they last like 5-6 years,
Yeah.
and then they roll out. I'm wondering too if maybe with the swap from John Cadera and Jim Ryan, if Sean maybe felt like he was kind of stuck on the corporate ladder now, and like he couldn't move up anywhere, so he just decided, it's time for him to leave. Maybe he got a job at a competing company, and just hasn't been able to say anything because of NDAs with Sony and NDAs with whoever he's hired with. But we'll see. It's weird, it's been almost a week since this was announced, and all we've had is that one tweet. So
Yeah, I gotta say this actually flew under my radar. Like I heard nothing about this.
yeah,
And
I don't think
yeah,
if you weren't like specifically kind of looking for this, you wouldn't even know. Because like I said, it was just the one tweet from PlayStation, and it was funny
yeah,
because
that's wild.
the tweet starts with let me see, it starts with it says, quote, "It is with great emotion that we announce that Worldwide Studios chairman Sean Layden will be departing SIE," end quote. And so it's like, it is with great emotion. Like when I was first reading this, I was thinking, Jesus, did he fucking die?
Right?
Is he dead?
Great emotion.
Did he like eat some children or some shit and they had to force him out? Like, damn. But
You
yeah,
don't know what's going on behind the scenes now.
I
He
mean,
might have
hey,
eaten some children.
he might have eaten some children. He might have thought, look, the only way to make PlayStation 5 great again is to eat some children.
He's trying to save the planet. Eat some kids.
Kids. Remember, kids, eat some kids.
No.
Okay, so that's enough of that story. The next one is a just a little short little story, but I don't know how familiar you are with like PlayStation Now.
I feel like I tried the beta or something. I
Yes.
only used it once for like some brief period to play some game I'd never played before, and it was fine. But then I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. So this is a service that I've been kind of interested in for a while, and I think they're finally getting into a good place with it. So when Sony first bought Gaikai several years ago, it was a streaming service, and they turned it into PlayStation Now. And when they first launched it, I believe that you couldn't buy for a yearly subscription. You could only buy it monthly. And it was like crazy expensive for like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
And then several years after that, they brought it down a little bit and they added the yearly, but the yearly subscription was still like $100 a year, which is really crazy for this weird kind of streaming service. But this week they announced that they're bringing the prices down even more, and I think these prices are now at a good place. So the monthly price is now going to be $9.99, which is down from $19.99. The 3-month subscription is going to be $24.99, which is down from $44.99. And the real kicker for me here is the yearly subscription is going to be $59.99, which is down from $99.99. So $60 for a year. I believe that's pretty much the same price as like a PlayStation Plus subscription.
Yeah, 60. Yeah.
But I think that's a really good price. I think that's a good price where I can buy it and I can not feel guilty about like not playing it for a couple months and feel like I'm just like kind of wasting my money on this thing that I'm only using like maybe every other month or so. But yeah, so with PlayStation Now you can stream. It's mostly like PlayStation 3 games. There's some PS2 games on there too. The one that they've kind of redone as classics and stuff like that. And there are a couple of PlayStation 4 games on there. I believe Bloodborne is on there. And they're going to start waving out some more PS4 games. So they've got God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5, Infamous Second Son, and Uncharted 4 Thief's End. So these are going to be coming in waves, and then it's going to kind of be like Netflix content where they're going to be available for 3 months, and then they're going to be kind of taken off, which is a little weird. I feel like they should probably
Yeah,
maybe keep those on there, but I don't know.
that's a little strange. I find that that to be a little strange. I mean, not everybody has a ton of time to play some games, and that's like part of what would make this service in general really great, because you wouldn't, like you said, feel too guilty about just, here's $60, price of one, brand new game, and just
Right.
playing a game when you have the time to do it. But if it's a game and it's just gonna be like gone in 3 months, some people are busy. You talk to some people, it's like, I didn't beat Persona 5 for like a fucking year.
Yeah, I
You
haven't
know?
even started Persona 5.
Exactly. Like, I don't like that kind of.
Yeah, I think the service is mostly meant to play PS3 games, and that's mostly what it's going to continue to be. Um, I did try the beta, and I thought it worked okay. There's definitely a little bit of input lag, um,
Hmm.
but which it gets weird with some stuff. Like Fallout New Vegas is on there, and which is a game that I really want to play. Um,
Yes.
but like streaming the PS3 version of that game is kind of
Yeah.
rough. It's like the PS3 version is already a little chuggy and has some issues, and then adding streaming on top of that,
Yeah.
it wasn't really worth it. But some of the other
Yeah, that's actually kind of strange. Like to think about, right? The concept, if one was to use it for streaming, like in my mind, in terms of like entertainment, beside like making entertainment with it, would be almost like let's plays, if anything, like YouTube. Because yeah, like you were saying, like streaming at the same, like I'm getting like thoughts of like Stadia and stuff, and it's like Stadia is gonna be fucking garbage.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you
I
know,
definitely I definitely think this move is well timed. I think this is clearly a move to say that like PlayStation Now is here to stay, and PlayStation Now with the PS5 is going to be kind of front and center. Um, I still don't think that streaming video games is going to be the main way of playing games for the next
I hope
generation,
not.
but I
I
think it's
hope not.
gonna I think it's gonna be a close second. We've kind of seen this before, like the end of the PS3 generation really introduced like digital games and buying digital games, and it wasn't
Yeah.
really a it wasn't really a thing at the start of the PS3 generation, and it kind of took off. And then with the start of the PS4 generation, every game has a digital version, and you can download digital for everything. And so I think it'll be kind of
Hmm.
similar here, where I think I think the option is going to be there to stream pretty much any game that comes out, and you'll still be able to buy a physical copy. You'll still be able to buy a digital copy, but I think that's going to be a strong third option that they're going to offer for the PS5, and they'll probably do it through PS Now. I don't think that this price change is coincidental. I think it's well timed. I think they're trying to get people in, and I think it's going to be front and center when they show off the PS5.
I'm worried though, right? So like one of the things I've been hearing about PS5 is like backwards compatibility as like
Hmm.
a big thing. And with this push of PS Now, which is cool, I'm really hoping they don't mean you can play PS4 games through PlayStation Now on your PS5. That's not what I want, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I could see that worry.
Like that would be
Oh,
quite the fucking curveball,
yeah, fucking throwing that curb music.
you
Um,
know?
yeah, I think I'm kind of hesitant to get hyped about like the backwards compatibility stuff until they officially announce what it is. Some people already
Yeah.
have it in their mind where it's going to be like, yeah, you're going to be able to just put your fucking PS1, PS2 discs, PS3 discs, all that shit in there. Um,
Dude, that's the
which
dream, but like come
which
on.
would be cool. Um,
Yeah.
my understanding, I mean, I'm not the big tech guy, but my understanding that is that if they wanted to do that, they would have to pretty much literally put like a PS2 in the system
Hmm.
itself. Um, but who knows? Maybe they'll have some weird shit. I mean, Microsoft does it differently, where they basically read the disk to make sure it's basically like reading the license in a way with their backwards compatibility service. So you put the disk in, and it reads it and basically confirms that you own that disk, and then you just download a digital version.
So
So
using physical product as DRM.
yeah, sort of.
That's weird.
I don't think you need the disc like afterwards. I'm not really sure. I don't have an Xbox. I'm not really sure exactly how
Yeah.
that works, but I think it's an interesting solution.
Yeah.
And people are hungry for it. People love backwards compatibility, and I can't say that
Yeah,
I
they
blame
do.
them. Um, it would be nice. I like it when it's there, but I'm not like a big, I'm not going to complain about it when it's not there. Um,
I mean, I'm not gonna front. If I could like slap, because I still own PS2 games, right? I still
mhm.
have MGS2, MGS3, FF12, Dragon Quest 8, and some other games.
DMC2.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Uh
Oh, we're not. That's the last
DMC.
time. That's the last time DMC2 is ever going to be brought up on this podcast. I promise you.
Some people were clamoring. I had some requests. Um, but yeah, like there are some games that like if I could legit, even if not for just streaming purposes, which I'm sure both you and I have that in mind, right? Whenever we think about playing some games, but just for the entertainment of going back and playing these games that I personally hold so near and dear. Because as much as it's cool that Dragon Quest 8 got like a 3DS port, even though it originated as a PS2 game, it's not gonna get a PS4 port. Or like, like kind of like how you can play up to date San Andreas and like some other PS2 games that they like kind of polished up a little bit, then put on the PlayStation Store.
Mhm.
I doubt that, the vast majority of games are ever gonna get that. And I feel like that's where
Yeah,
Xbox is winning.
backwards compatibility definitely has a like preservation element to it with games, which I think is
Yeah.
really important. Um, like fucking Cool Spot is never gonna get a never get a fucking remaster, is it? But
I doubt it.
somebody might want to play that game. And I think
What's
like
gonna happen to Sega Genesis games? No, no, no. Well, not
I
even
think
Sega Dreamcast.
yeah, Dreamcast for sure. I think emulation kind of does a part of that, but it's not perfect, and it's not something that we should depend on. But
Yeah,
I love
that
I
could
love
be.
that I love that little tangent you went on because I had the biggest gulp of water. It was great.
It's what I'm here for. Feel dead
Big
air while you
big
gulp.
big gulps. Okay.
Please do more. ASMR me.
So our next story is kind of a fun one. Uh, so how familiar are you with Gearbox Studios? Probably very
I
familiar.
love Borderlands. I
Yeah,
absolutely love Borderlands. I hate Randy Pitchford.
yeah. So, not necessarily Randy. I think there was a news story. I don't have it on here, but one of their like former lawyers, they had some lawsuit with one of their former lawyers or something, and they both decided to drop it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that on there, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about there's been a little back and forth between voice actor Troy Baker and Gearbox Studios. Gearbox or Troy Baker's played a character in Tales from the Borderlands called Reese,
Mm-hmm.
and
Cool character.
yeah, very cool character, very very good game.
Yeah.
Um,
Best
and
Zelda game.
yeah, I would say so too. I would say so too. Um, that and like Wolf Among Us, dude.
Oh, rest in peace. Oh my god. That
Fucking judgment nuts
uh
thinking about fucking Wolf Among Us. Uh,
toast the knife, please.
but
It
you
sucks.
know, the character of Reese came back in Borderlands 3, but he was
Yeah.
not voiced by Troy Baker. And
Mhm.
Troy basically came out and said, like, it had to do with the fact that Gearbox didn't want to work with the union that I'm a part of. Um,
Mm.
and which is fine, they don't have to work with Troy. Um, they don't like owe it to him, I don't think. It's always great to get the same voice actor back as that character. But
Yeah.
where this gets fun is that Gearbox provided Kotaku with a statement, um, where they said, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read the last two lines because it's the most interesting and funny part. So they said, quote, "We also believe strongly in hiring local voice actors whenever we can, which is why we're thrilled Troy's career really took off after working with us," end quote. So,
fucking balls.
Troy Baker, who had been working in the industry for like 15 years prior to being in Tales from the Borderlands,
Wow.
Who also, like, Tales from the Borderlands was made by Telltale. Obviously, it was a heavy collaboration with Gearbox. I'm pretty sure several key Gearbox members were involved in that project, but it wasn't a Gearbox game. It was fucking Telltale's game. But also, never mind the fact that Tales from the Borderlands came out in 2014, and the year prior, Troy Baker voiced both Booker from BioShock Infinite and fucking Joel from The Last of Us. So these two like highly critically acclaimed voice acting roles. But yeah, Gearbox really launched Troy Baker's career with Tales from the Borderlands. I'm sure he's greatly appreciative of it.
One of those games being arguably game of the fucking generation, but yeah.
BioShock Infinite was very good. You're right.
What's that?
But yeah, that's I just think it was funny. I mean,
that's amazing. Actually, that's like Wendy's Twitter tier like bullshit.
Gearbox, I don't know what's happening over there. They've I think it's all Randy, honestly. I think it's all mostly Randy, but
they need to take his Twitter. They really do.
They do. Yeah, they do.
The fucking balls.
I like to imagine Troy Baker like on the streets begging for money if he hadn't been in Tales from the Borderlands,
Yeah, that's what put him where he is now. That reminds me of people like a few years ago being like, I don't know who this Missy Elliott person is, but Taylor Swift's gonna make her famous. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a similar story. I'm not sure who, but somebody had Ozzy Osbourne on like a song of theirs, and I wish I knew who it was. I wish I could call them out, but there was a comment that's like, man, they're really gonna put Ozzy Osbourne on the map.
It's like, God, I'm too old for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm not that much older than you, so it's concerning.
Yeah, but that's a fun one. Okay, so going from fun to not so fun.
Oh, no.
The developer of the Mario and Luigi kind of RPG, Dream Team Bros, and I think Bowser's Inside Story, and Superstar Saga, they have gone bankrupt. Alpha Dream has been I don't know if they've been shut down. They filed for bankruptcy. I imagine they're probably going to be shut down, but kind of a shame. They weren't owned by Nintendo. They were kind of a third party developer, but they mostly made like Mario and Luigi games. Their last game that they made, which was this is the real kicker. This one's like so weird. The last game that they made was a re-release of Bowser's Inside Story for the 3DS, which Bowser's Inside Story is a DS game, and you can play DS games on your 3DS. So the usefulness of a re-release of that is questionable. But yeah, I never played any of these games. I don't know if you played any of them.
I haven't. I always saw them, but never got around to playing them.
Yeah, they always seem like they range from decent to okay.
Yeah,
but it's always sad to see a company kind of go bankrupt in this industry. So that's that.
And you're saying like they were making like Mario games, and I get that they're not mainline games, so to speak. But the idea of any company being like, yeah, and they were making Super Mario games, and then bankruptcy is like, really,
Yeah.
But, and it's like if they're not owned by Nintendo, then I mean, I guess, but that's just like kind of surprising.
I think they just I think some of the like later games like Paper Jam and stuff were not really well received. even if they have Mario in it, I think some of the mechanics and stuff were not as satisfying as previous RPG games like that. But it opens a void here now where we kind of wonder if Nintendo is gonna continue to make Mario RPGs, because
Yeah,
they kind of just dumped them off to this team.
I should have just kept them with Square Enix, but then that would have been its own bag of weirdness.
Yeah, there's definitely some weirdness there. That game has not been re-released, correct? Mario RPG,
I,
Super Mario RPG.
I think it might be on like Virtual Console on one of these freaking Nintendo products, but like there's never been any. They don't like they do re-releases and I guess like up to date, like better looking versions of some games, but I don't think it got one of those, which is kind of crazy actually. Like the idea that okay, I get, to be fair, Square Enix, I know like people probably like FF7 more than Chrono Trigger, but what the fuck? What?
They did like the mobile version of Chrono Trigger, right? With like bad art
Yeah,
or something. I think I remember seeing that. They keep
yeah.
doing that. They keep making like there was like the FF6 re-release too for mobile, and it had like bad art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? Just put the game out the way it was.
What game is it that they keep curving? Is it FF8 or 9? One of
It
them is like,
it was FF8 until they did actually a really nice like remaster where they updated some of the character models and stuff. But for a while, yeah, it was like, when they announced like they announced like a bunch of classic PlayStation game or classic Final
mhm.
Fantasy games coming out, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna get Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10. It's like, oh, okay. And
Right?
they did the same thing for Switch where it's like here's Crystal Chronicles and Chocobo's Big Dick Adventure and Final
Mhm.
Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 9, and it's like, dude, where the fuck's Final Fantasy 8? But
Exactly.
they were working on a pretty nice remaster of that game, to be fair. So that's out now.
Oh, they were just sitting on it, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it. They did curve it for a while though.
Yeah, that was always like really weird to me. Like even as someone who's like I have no affinity for Squall and all that stuff, but I'm like, this is really weird. Just
Mhm.
it's just weird, right? Doesn't feel like FF10, by the way, has been on like everything for some reason. Like I feel like that Final Fantasy games was 10 and like 7, even though they all kind of do, but they get around a lot in terms of
Yeah,
like what platform they're on.
I
People
mean
like them.
10, and I haven't played 10 too. I imagine I don't know what the combat looks like in 10 too,
Yeah.
but 10 is what the last kind of classic turn-based Final Fantasy game. I don't know.
Yeah.
13 had some different kind of weird combat. It was kind of in the middle of like action and turn-based, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um
12 was ATB for the most. It was basic. It could be turn based, so to speak, or well, not turn based, but you can set it so that the game world pauses while you pick skills and abilities and items and whatnot.
mhm.
And then it could be set to like its default state, which is you can walk around and access menus and stuff while you play the game. And every character had the ATB bar, so you had to wait until it filled back up, and you could use haste and shit to make it move faster and whatnot.
Yeah, 12 was really good. I'm glad that 12 is getting more love. It was kind of like the black sheep and people were kind of downing on it, but
12
after
was
after
what?
these recent re-releases, I think people are back on that game, and it's kind of weird
Yeah.
because you're not playing as the main character in 12. Like Vaughn is not the fucking main character. Let's be honest.
Fear
Um,
is the fucking main character. Vaughn sucks, and
yeah,
everyone knows Vaughn sucks.
yeah. Everyone knows Vaughn sucks, so it's okay. Everyone can be okay with Vaughn sucking now. But yeah, I
Yeah.
did enjoy that game. The gambits get really fun in that game where you can just set that game up to fucking own itself. It's really cool.
Dude, I like that's always been like my selling point, to like a lot of people. It's like, Gambit seems so overly complicated, and it's like that's more of a good thing than you can
Hmm.
like fucking so granularly change things in like the best way ever. You know. I haven't. I have the Zodiac Chronicles, and I haven't messed around too much with like classes and whatnot. I was starting it again on my fucking PlayStation. That sounds like it's gonna blow up all the time.
You have just like the OG PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I do, and it just
I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean my
all
PS4
the time.
my PS4 Pro still sounds like it's gonna fucking launch into space. So
I'm scared. I swear. Like I want to. You know what? I forgot how slow the start of 12 kind of is before you get into like the really big meat and potatoes of exploring parts of the world and whatnot. But you got to like get the crew together first, so to speak, and
yeah,
whatnot.
the beginning of that is just like fucking around with Vaughn and Pinello. You're like the street rat kids.
Yeah, I want to be a sky pirate. Shut your ass up. But yeah, it's good to see that game. 12 was always weird because it was always like whenever anybody talked about Final Fantasy, 12 was just never brought up. It's like it wasn't good enough to be talked about all the time, and it wasn't bad enough to be talked about all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's fine
in the middle. Yeah. So next up we've got Destiny 2. I think you're familiar with the Destiny franchise. Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is going free to play. I think that's already happened. So you can now play the base story in Destiny 2 and the first two kind of mini expansions for free. Download it, hop right in.
And you mindful. 100 gigs.
yeah, that's definitely a big one. It's a big boy. It's a big boy game for sure. Because when you download it, you're not downloading just the content that you have access to. You're downloading everything. So you're downloading
Shadowbringer on there too, or whatever that fucking update is called.
Yeah, you're downloading the two mini expansions. I think it was like Warmind and the Osiris one. And then you're downloading the first bigger expansion, Forsaken. And then the new expansion, Shadowkeep. So
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So big, like, bruh.
Mm-hmm. And I think
touched it, but
I think with the free to play version, you can play the base game and the two mini expansions, and then I think you can also like explore some of the areas from like Forsaken and Shadowkeep, and even though you can't like do any main quests there, you can still kind of f around and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. I played all of Destiny 1 and all of the expansions. I played all of Destiny 2. I haven't played any of the expansions in Destiny 2. It kind of got to a point where I was just playing other stuff, and I really want to get back into it. I just don't have the time.
Are you still playing 14?
No. I mainly just played 14. They had like the free login period.
Okay.
So I hop in for that. I'll hop in when they give that away and hang out in that for a bit. But yeah, Destiny. People shit on Destiny, but I think Destiny is a good game. It has fucking great mechanics and stuff. The shooting in that game feels so good, and
I swear.
And it's the perfect game to put on and just put like a podcast on, or listen to music or watch something in the background and just kind of grind away, get some light levels, get some loot. It's really fun. So I want to jump back in. I want to do some of the stuff. I just don't know when. I feel like every single hour of my day is booked at this point.
You're a busy dude.
I am a busy dude. It's like work full time, stream, do this acting shit. It's like Jesus.
I respect that though. Like you, Blue, and Knob and everyone else. Like I look at you guys sometimes. I'd be like, fuck, I literally do nothing all day. I need to be more active. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, it's a hustle for sure. Last Saturday, I didn't stream, and I didn't have an acting workshop last Saturday. So last Saturday, I really just hung out for the first time in a while and played some Pokemon in bed. And that was super cozy. Yeah, it's good. I think it's good to kind of fill your day with stuff like that, and to always be working on stuff. It helps me not kind of get lost in my head sometimes, which I am suspect to do when I'm kind of bored and stuff like that. So that's always good. But it also means that I don't have any time for Destiny 2, which is not so good.
I installed it.
Yeah.
It took a while, and one of the first things a lot of people mentioned, even though I think pre-downloads were available for maybe not a week, but for a while, I'd been seeing it a few days before it was released on Steam. And you can transfer over your save data and all that good stuff.
I think they're working on crossplay with that. I don't know if it's in there yet, but
I heard something like that.
I do think they're working on it. So
yeah, which is for Destiny, that's actually really amazing. That's really amazing. And it's kind of interesting. I read it the start of Destiny 1, which I was like, why am I doing this? Because it didn't start with like the attack on a tower or anything. So it was kind of surprising. I didn't really get I start games sometimes and then literally do one thing and put them down for a while. And Destiny, where it is now, I never played Destiny 2. This is my first time touching it. I played the hell out of Destiny 1. Played it since beta, pre-order. That was my first game I've ever pre-ordered, Destiny 1.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like my history with pre-order games have been kind of shaky. Be it Destiny, Division, Fallout 4, FF15.
Ooh.
All games that are like
wolf. Big wolf.
So there's that. I played the fuck out of it. Like you said, like Destiny is definitely that series that hell, even on PS4, I reinstalled Destiny 1 like a month ago just to run around the Cosmodrome. I just want to fucking feel it.
It's the perfect junk food game, you know?
Yes.
You're not getting like, I think the story in Destiny 2 is definitely better than the story in Destiny 1. It's still not like, Oscar bait or anything like that, but it's fun. And just running around and shooting stuff it's just the perfect like cool down. I have memories of Destiny 1 where I was playing that game at a time where I was working a different job and I was working like night shift or whatever. And I was having trouble sleeping. I was having trouble coming home at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning and going to bed. So sometimes I would, and then sometimes I'd just stay up till like 9, 10 o'clock and play Destiny and watch the sun come up and, hate my life. But, there's some fond memories of that. It's a fun game.
Yeah, so, I agree with that.
It's exciting to see, Bungie has broken away from Activision now. So they fully own Destiny. They can do whatever they want with it. Some people were shitting on like, some people were shitting on like the Eververse stuff and some of the microtransactions. I think that stuff, I understand that stuff. It never really bothered me because I think it's largely ignorable. A lot of the Eververse stuff is like dances and there's some exclusive armors in there, but it's mostly cosmetic stuff and
it's boosters and stuff. But like, Destiny isn't really the grindiest game in the world, so to speak. It's no Warframe. Let's put it that way in terms of grind.
It's definitely not Warframe, that's for sure.
Speaking of Bungie, though, I'm not sure if you had it down, but Bungie is in talks of like becoming a publisher as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'd been seeing it pop up over the past like 2 or 3 days of them. I don't think they've spoken on any specific IPs, but just in general, like it seems like they might not just be the Destiny guys in the coming years, and they might work on what if they made another Halo? I'm not sure if they can because I
think 343 at Microsoft is gonna be doing that for the foreseeable future, but. Yeah, I know Bungie was saying that like they're gonna have another IP out by the end of like 2025, and they made some deal with somebody like Google or some shit where they're gonna make a game. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think they're in a good position if they can like publish some smaller games and do stuff like that. That'd be cool.
If those do well, because with them being independent, I don't know if you'd call Bungie indie now, but.
They're definitely independent now. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're indie, but indie kind of has its own moniker and meaning. But
but they're out in the open now, and they're free, which is like the most important part. Like it's You can tell right off the bat that like they want to do better, and they're doing better. As much as like I've fucking had whole TED talks with friends about why, like, the problems with Destiny and whatnot. But like, I'm all for it. Like, hey, if they can fix it and they want to fix it, go for it, right? Like, it's go for it, you know. And I'm excited to see what they do. You know, hey, here's hoping.
Yeah, I
That we
think they
get
do. I
something
think they do a
awesome.
pretty good job of fixing things towards the end of the lifespan of the game. You know, Destiny 1 at the end was definitely a much better game than Destiny 1 was when it
Mm-hmm.
launched. So I think
Yeah,
they're in.
and
They do a pretty good job of listening to their community. Sometimes it's not always the best, but they're definitely better than fucking Epic. I'll say
oh
that.
god,
Definitely better
yeah.
than Epic.
Is it still
Okay.
on Blizzard's launcher, by the way? If you know, Destiny 2.
Ooh,
I
good
think it was
question.
for a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely was. That was a big deal actually when it came to that. Um,
Yeah.
I think Destiny 2, I don't know. Let's look that up. Is Destiny 2 still on Blizzard? Uh, it might be just because it launched as, an Activision game. I know they have full
Yeah.
control of it now still. Um,
Yeah, that's the interesting part because you can totally. I'm on the launcher right now, and I
okay, so I
don't
got
see
a
it
news story
actually.
says unfortunately Destiny 2 will no longer be available on BattleNet after October 1st. So it seems like that was just recently
Oh, okay.
taken off. Oh, look
Oh,
at that. You
well, I
ask?
hope I. That's scary because if people didn't get to like transfer saves and stuff,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
don't know how
big
that
oof.
works. I don't know how
I
that
know some
works.
people are like really excited about like just starting over anyway.
I
Um,
mean, when it's on BattleNet, you're basically just launching it from there, right? It's not like you own the game on BattleNet.
yeah, yeah, but you know, with Destiny being one of those like the save data isn't like necessarily physically it's on like Bungie servers, right? So I guess in a sense you kind of maybe could just what are you transferring over then? If like most of your save stuff is like not physically on your device, so to speak.
What are you transferring over as far as like?
Your characters and whatnot. Like what would how would that go? Are you just linking your two accounts, like your Steam account to Battle.net?
Oh, I have no idea, dude. I don't do
Yeah,
PC shit. I have no idea how any of that works.
fair enough. I
Um,
don't either.
I have no
Okay.
idea.
All right. I'll look that up later.
Okay, so next up we have a new trailer for Crystal Dynamics Avengers game, and I have to say I think this is the best trailer that they've put out for this game so far.
I'm gonna look
Um,
this up real quick.
this game's had a weird has a weird history. So they announced this game pretty much it seems like as soon as the deal with Square Enix and Marvel was made. They had that little teaser where it was like Cap's broken shield and like
That
Thor's
is Square
hammer.
Enix, isn't it?
Um, and then it was just nothing for a couple years, and then they really hyped it up for this year's E3. They're like, "Hey, Avengers is going to be there. We're going to show off what this game is. We're going to show you what we've been working on."
Mm-hmm.
And they waited to the very end of Square Enix's press conference to show this game, and they showed like a 3-minute trailer, and it was like some story stuff. Here's like a couple seconds of gameplay, and that's it. Thanks everybody for waiting for this Avengers trailer. And it's like, wait, what? Like, what is the
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
There were some stories that like it's kind of a Destiny like game, but like they said that that's not really true. It seems like it has a story mode and you can't co-op in the story mode, but it has like missions where you can do co-op stuff and possibly get loot and maybe there'll be some microtransactions. We don't really know. Maybe they've clarified, but the messaging for this game has been very strange. Um, so they had that, and then they showed off some of the press, some of the actual gameplay behind closed doors at E3, and then I think like a month or a couple months later, at some other event, possibly like D23, they released that demo. It's like the kind of the first part of the game. It's the A day,
Looking
with
at
the
a little
attack
bit of that right now.
with the attack on the bridge. Yeah, and so it seems like kind of a tutorial part where you're kind of switching between all the characters and just getting a little taste of what everybody has. And it looked okay.
Yeah.
This game has some weird looking faces. I talk about how
Yeah.
I like good faces in video games, and this game has some weird faces. And some people are saying like, oh, it's just because they don't look like the MCU versions, and that's not really what I want. I think they can look different and still look good. It's just that they look different and still look bad. Uh,
Yeah. It's like they look similar enough to the MCU counterparts to just look weird because they don't look like them in some ways.
yeah, like
From what I've seen.
I think Bruce Banner is literally wearing like the same outfit from the Avengers one. He's got like the purple dress shirt.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's fine. Marvel. I didn't have this issue with Spider-Man where like Peter Parker doesn't look like Tom Holland or fucking Andrew Garfield or some shit. But the character models in the PS4 Spider-Man looked good. Um,
Yes.
it didn't have amazing faces, but they looked different and they looked good. I think you can look different from the movie versions, and that's fine. I don't need the movie versions in these games. Um, these characters have been represented in media, for years and years and years, and so I think it's fine to look different, but you need to also look good. Um, and then it's also weird because they showed that off. This game is coming out next May, so it's still a ways off.
That's not that far though.
I mean, but what they've been doing for the game is, they had that demo that they showed off, and then they'll put out like 30 to 45-second trailers where it's like, and here's a new costume for Thor. It's based on this thing. Here's a new costume for Cap. It's based on this comic book storyline. And
Mhm.
that's all cool. I'm all in for skins and stuff, but it's like, what is this game? I still don't know.
Yeah, don't
Like,
try to sell me skins before you tell me what I'm buying in the first place.
I need like a 10-minute demo of just you playing this game before I'm like interested in skins. It's like
What
cool,
is
like
it?
put
What is the gameplay loop? What is
yeah,
this?
exactly. I don't know what this game like what does an hour of this game look like?
Yeah.
Um but this new trailer they put out a couple days ago, I think looks really good. They showed off some new story stuff, they showed off some new gameplay stuff. They showed off that Kamala Khan is going to be a major character in the story. Which I think is exciting. I think she looks good. I think her character model actually looks the best out of any of the ones that they've showed off. And yeah, I think it looks good. I still think they need just like here's a 15-minute demo of an entire level, and don't do it of the beginning level where you're only playing as each character for like 5 seconds before it
Mhm.
switches. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, got Miss Marvel in there. That's cool. Um,
yeah, she's
yeah, I
kind of
like her.
she's kind of a newer character, but I think she's well liked generally by comic book fans. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm looking at it now, and it definitely looks better than anything that they showed off of the game.
Most
She's got
importantly,
she's got the big fist. I always love a big fist.
oh, I know. I got you, baby.
Always love a big fist. But
It looks better than Marvel Infinite. Most importantly, Cap looks weird to me.
it does. Yeah, Cap's costume is like one of the worst Captain America costumes that I've ever seen ever.
His head looks like disproportionate in some scenes.
Yeah. I feel like his face is actually the least offensive of the group there, but
Hmm.
his costume is just weird. It's like a weird SWAT costume, but it's just got like
Yeah,
it's got like it's got like red stripes on it, and that makes it
that's
Captain America.
that's
But
exactly it. It's like he's wearing a fucking bulletproof vest or some shit. And I'm like, what is this? Is weird.
yeah,
That's what it is. He looks bulky. Like he looks a lot more bulky than I'm used to for Cap.
for sure. Um,
Huh.
but they've been updating the character models. Like when they first showed off the game,
They got clowned.
Thor had just like long hair. Um,
Hmm.
And now that they're showing off the game now, it seems like they've updated it. Thor's got like a kind of a little like ponytail kind of thing going on, which I think looks better than it did. So we'll see. We'll see if they keep updating it, making things look better. I still just want like a big chunk of like here we're gonna sit down and we're gonna show you what this game is.
But what if they came out and said it was episodic, and in each episode you played as a different character?
That would be tragic. I don't think that's what they're gonna do. I think they did say that there's gonna be like, you know, a roadmap per se for like the co-op
tired of hearing that.
multiplayer stuff.
I'm so tired of roadmaps for video games, dude.
Yes. I think it can be fine. I think in this case it's just weird because like they're like, yeah, coming, he won't be there at launch, but soon after release we're gonna have an Ant-Man DLC. And it's like, okay, I get to play as Ant-Man, that's cool, but I don't even know like what that's gonna be like because I don't even know what the game is like.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed no Hawkeye. He's an Avenger.
Yes, definitely disrespectful. It's disrespectful to get that kind of. You got like the main group from the first Avengers movie. It's obviously not based on the comics because otherwise, like Ant-Man and Wasp would have been there and shit. But you've got everyone except for Hawkeye, which is yeah, I agree. It's actually when they showed the game off after the trailer, somebody in the audience was like, "Where's Hawkeye?" And the presenter had to just kind of sandbag him, which was funny, but
I bet that's really okay. I know, like within the MCU, people are like, "Hawkeye is just a guy." It's like Black Widow's also just a regular human, but
yeah, I think
no one bats an eye at her.
I think that kind of adds to the dynamic of the Avengers team because you have like these superhero freakos, and then you have just a guy with a bow.
And he's also he's one of the funniest guys. It's like him and Tony, and Ant-Man in a lot of cases, but
definitely
that's a bummer.
Definitely looking forward to that Disney Plus fucking Hawkeye show, which appears to be based off of Matt Fraction's run, which is like top tier Hawkeye.
Fucking tell me more.
If you haven't read Matt Fraction's run of Hawkeye, you should definitely read it. It's very, very good. It's very funny. It's a 10 out of 10 comics series. It's very, very good. Somebody calls him Hawk Guy, and he's like, my name's not fucking Hawk Guy, man. It's Hawkeye. Like, come on. He's like kind of depressed and gets just like shit on all the time, and it
feels meta.
Yeah, he teaches this girl how to be a superhero, like how to use the bow and stuff too. And so there's a period of time where she also goes by Hawkeye. And so there's a period of time where they're both active and they just both go by Hawkeye. It's like, yeah, we didn't come up with a new name for you. We're just both Hawkeye. It's fine. But yeah, that's very funny. Kate Bishop, that's the name of the character. So they did confirm that she is going to be in that Disney Plus show. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
That's cool. Give Hawkeye his respect. He's cool.
Yeah, give Hawkeye the respect he rightly deserves. Next up, we have Red Dead 2 coming to PC on November 5th. This is coming first to Epic Game Store and then coming to Steam in December.
Yeah, they're curving. It has to do with the profit cut, if I recall right. I was looking at that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, it's likely. This is mostly newsworthy because Red Dead 1 never came to PC. So they're doing it kind of like they did with GTA 5 when that came out on next gen consoles on PS4 and Xbox, where that game GTA 5 came out and then a year later it came out on PC. So it's kind of the same thing. Red Dead 2 came out last year and a year later it's coming to PC. But I think the PC audience definitely loves these games. I always see some weird character modded into GTA 5. So.
No, of course. You gotta. I mean, what's the point in playing GTA 5 online if I can't dress up like Spider-Man and kill people?
Exactly. Spider-Man with a AK is something that I always need in my life. So I haven't played Red Dead 2. It's on my list. It's on my list of games. It's like this is going to be just a time dump.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those games where like I don't want to play this game like an hour a night. I don't want to play it on stream. It's like it's one of those games that I don't want to play on stream. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't want to play it like an hour a night. You know, when I sit down with this game, I want to play like a good 4 or 5 hour chunk.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows when I'll get to it.
It's gonna leave you exhausted afterwards.
Probably.
My experience with like Red Dead as a whole is I played Red Dead Redemption 1 for 30 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Never played it again. That's my whole Red Dead career.
Red Dead 1 is really fun. The Undead Nightmare DLC is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so it's kind of disappointing to see Rockstar not making single player DLC like that anymore. But
Yeah.
I talked about this last week, and I still think it's fine. You know, I think they still put out like incredibly detailed games that you can like spend hours and hours and hours in.
Yeah.
So.
I'm hoping that whole Bully 2 thing is real because that would be cool, but kind of interesting in today's
I
climate
think I
that maybe
just saw a
no longer
story
real.
like last night that said that that was in development for like 18 months and then kind of thrown in the trash
Oh no.
around the same time that GTA 5 came out originally.
Wow.
So
I'm hurt.
yeah, it's
But
a
yeah.
shame. It's a shame. It's a shame to see Rockstar not do like weird stuff like that anymore. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, they take so long with their games now. It's not surprising to see them kind of just stick with GTA 5 or GTA and then Red Dead and just kind of alternate the two.
Oh, quick little aside, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for
Uh,
it.
just browsing the Twitter while we talk. If you have Xbox Game Pass, you can get DMC5, Dishonored 2,
Yeah,
Bloodstained, Ritual
buddy.
of the Night, and Kingdom Come Deliverance now for like $2. If you have, yeah, Xbox Game Pass is pretty interesting. I had it on PC in its beta, and it didn't work perfectly, but it's pretty decent. It's a fair amount of games on there right now, I'd say.
Yeah, they're doing some interesting things. They kind of got put on their ass at the start of the generation, and so they're doing some interesting things now to kind of catch up. And I think Game Pass is actually a really good deal. I
Mm-hmm.
really wish Sony would do something similar. They don't have to because they have such a strong lead, but
Yeah.
it would be nice. Yeah, DMC5. Go play that game. Go play that game.
Is it
That
wrong
game's
that a part of me wishes they would just lower the price of PlayStation? Well, I was gonna say lower the price of PS Plus back to what it originally was instead of the PS Now stuff. But the PS Now stuff is like on so many levels just better. You know what? Yeah, it's fine. I don't like paying $60 for PlayStation Plus, but
be cool if they had like a
yeah,
bundle, like a PS Plus bundle with PlayStation Now, and say like, hey, spend $80 a year and you'll get both, you know, for a
oh,
yearly
dude,
subscription to both. That would be
yeah,
pretty good because you'd be saving what, $20 on each of those.
yeah.
Um, so you'd be saving like $40 in total. But yeah, I think it'll come. I think it'll come with PlayStation 5. They'll do some. Hopefully, they'll do some new exciting stuff with some of those services.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so now we
Yeah.
got our get your armchair CEO
Oh, bet.
hat on. Get your fucking armchair CEO. So
Oh,
here's a
bet.
game that is just the biggest roller coaster I have almost ever seen. So there was a Game Informer article that came out recently that was talking all about Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of let on that there were going to be 18. They said there are 18 types of gym in the story, and depending on which version, you know, which gyms are in the minor league and which gyms are in the major league are different. So they made it seem like there's 18 gyms in the game that you can go and fight. And they had to kind of
Huh.
correct themselves because there's 18 gyms that exist in that region. There's 18 types of gyms that are part of the story of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, but you can't necessarily battle all of them. They
What?
said trainers must collect 8 gym battles and complete the gym challenge to earn the opportunity to participate in the Champions Cup. So it seems more like if you buy Pokemon Sword, these 8 gyms are going to be part of the story. If you buy Pokemon Shield, these 8 gyms are going to be part of the story. And those gyms still exist in the world in each version, but you can't necessarily go and battle them.
Fucking Nintendo, Jesus Christ.
It's not even Nintendo, dude. This is all Game Freak, really.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
This is
That's
all Game Freak. And they also said that experience share is pretty much going to be baked in. So it's not going to be like an item like I think it was in Moon and Sun and Moon, where you could choose to use the item or not. It's just going to be by default. So have fun trying to do a Nuzlocke in Sword and Shield. It's going to be no challenge at all.
That is fucking. Sun and Moon already played itself for you.
Yep.
I swear to God, if they force you to go through the trainer school again,
It sucks because this game, I said this on the last podcast, this game is up and down. This game 1 week has some really exciting news. The last news for this game was that Farfetch was finally going to get an evolution, and the evolution actually looks pretty decent. And it's like, okay, that's going to be exclusive to Sword, which means there's probably going to be an exclusive in Shield, which is a Gen 1, Pokemon that hasn't had an evolution before.
that's fucking stupid.
And so it's like, you got some exciting stuff. I still think it's stupid that they have 2 versions. Like, it's not necessary anymore. And any other company that tried to sell you 2 versions of a game would be just fucking chastised as shit. Like, imagine if Destiny 2 was like, here's our fucking 2 versions. Have fun. You can trade guns between each other. Yep. It's like, no, dude, that's not what I want.
I'm not gonna front. Pokemon has always been in series that, like, especially with the whole National Dex thing, when this game was first announced, people were up in arms about that, and I get it, But at the same time, I couldn't help but chuckle because a lot of these hyper fans for Pokemon are still the same people willing to buy, the same game twice just to get a different fucking monster on the cover, and it's like, bruh. They've been fucking with you guys forever, and it's like the whole 2 game thing is just so normal and expected at this point that people are just fine with paying for the same game twice, and that's crazy to me. Even the aspect of being like, in this one you get a different set of gems, which is interesting. It's like, what's the canonical reason for that though? It's still the same game and the same story.
Yeah, you're in the same region, and you're gonna go through the same like stadiums, but it's just gonna be like who comes out and who doesn't.
Like, that's so strange.
Pokemon is the franchise which has infinite potential, and they just squander it every time, I think.
But are the kings of selling you incomplete games?
Yeah, and people always say like, well, these games are made for kids, and kids are not as stupid as these games make them out to be.
They're really
kids were fine playing like Pokemon Silver and some of those obscurities, and
I was. It's not like we struggled.
Yeah, it's a shame for sure. I think these games could be good for kids and adults. They don't have to really pander to children who just can't figure out anything. I think give the children more credit than they're giving them.
Yeah, I think that's honestly, I'd agree with that because that's what it feels like. Everybody's always, but some things are too difficult for some people, and it's like, you guys don't let people try enough, Like, when we were growing up, these games weren't the hardest things in the world, but they held a nice challenge to it, as and these games are quote unquote for kids, but Pokemon knows damn well that a large group of adults play these games. Like that's not like lost on them. That's not lost on Game Freak. You know, I mean, there's freaking Pokemon Go, and yeah, kids have cell phones nowadays, but there's probably more adults with cell phones than children. I'm gonna assume, you know, and all that stuff. Who buys games mostly? Adults.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's baby's first RPG for sure, and it
yeah,
always has been. But it still needs to have satisfying RPG elements to just not be a game that just plays itself.
yeah. Pokemon has always basically been rock paper scissors. Anyways, it's not really that complicated.
Hmm.
You know, so I don't know. It's understandable to like help people, but they go beyond holding your hand sometimes. It's like just put the damn game down. Might as well just make it a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's worth talking about, but they had like a 24-hour live stream where it was just like in
Yeah,
the
they did.
forest, and like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe some new Pokemon will show up, and I think it's an interesting concept. I think they could have gotten away with it if it was like 5 hours or something. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a cool idea for a stream to be like, ooh, maybe some new Pokemon will come up, and you can be the first one to see it. But it just needs a little tweaking, and I think they
Yeah,
showed off like
24 hours is much. That's yeah.
they showed off like a Gala region exclusive for like Ponyta and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is cool. I think
Pikachu
that
was there, I think.
yeah, the regional variants are cool. I like them. I liked them in Sun and Moon. I think it's an interesting idea, but yeah.
Did you did you like the fact that it was basically just a like My Little Pony?
Oh yeah, it was like cotton candy colored. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the design, but it really
It
really
looks
reminds me of My Little Pony.
it looks delicious, I will say. That
Yeah.
Pokemon looks delicious. I want to eat that
Mm.
Pokemon. So
Where's
I
my
always I always rate Pokemon based on how much I want to eat them. So the new
really?
Galar Ponyta definitely gets a 10 in that regard. I definitely want to eat that Pokemon.
What about Galar Wheezing?
Galar
What about
Weezing, it's got like the top hat and like the
yeah.
chimney fucking smoke pipes.
Yeah, and the fucking poison beard. What about that?
I feel like I'd have to figure out how to eat that Pokemon. I feel like that's a Pokemon where once you figure out a good way to eat it, it can be delicious. But like you got to find
Ooh,
that right
okay.
recipe to do it in. You can't just
It's like Kugu.
yeah, you can't just eat it raw, and you can't just like stuff it in the oven for 45 minutes. You gotta really figure out like what complements that wheezing.
Okay, fair enough. You know, my last thought on that Pokemon live stream is that as strange as it sounds, like there's the initial announcements and whatever pokes were revealed. The best thing to come from that is someone is going to just download that and make it a wallpaper and wallpaper engine. So now you just have a
Yeah,
fucking infinite Pokemon rainforest like wallpaper with pokes running around.
yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
I was thinking about that too. I think that's a cool thing to have. It's just like, on your desktop at work or something, you just be like, oh, hey, look, I'm doing some work, and maybe a Pokemon will show up. And
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
so I think I'm gonna wait with Pokemon Sword and
Yeah.
Shield. I'm gonna wait until like the Dex list comes out, and I can figure out like which of my big boys I'll be able to bring over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'll hop on that, because that's not even coming until like, what is it, Pokemon Home, where you can transfer stuff. That's not even coming until like February of next year. Um,
Mm.
so I can wait. I can
Yeah,
wait.
I still need to buy a Switch anyway. And my first thoughts are Breath of the Wild, and we're already talking about Breath of the Wild 2 now. So
Hmm.
I need to pick it up, you know?
You need to catch up, boy. Do
Yeah, I
your
do.
homework. All right. So
I
next
need
up we
to.
have we have I don't know if you saw this trailer. This is probably the best trailer of the week. But
Mhm.
Leon and Claire are going to continue.
Oh,
Leon and Claire are going to continue not having sex in Monster Hunter World. Um, so this trailer was hilarious to begin with. They recreated like the classic RE2 moment where Leon and Claire meet, and
hmm
Claire's like, "Don't shoot," and Leon's like, "Get down." But it's
yeah.
they have that moment, but it's just this giant fucking monster in the background.
hmm
Um, And so you're going to be able to play as Leon and Claire. You'll get skins in Monster Hunter World, and it looks ridiculous. Tofu is there on one of the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. X is there. You can get a skin for the handler,
Mm-hmm.
and like Mr. X can cook you food and shit.
Yep.
So super goofy. This is like peak Capcom. You know, this is the
I
kind of
was
things.
just about to say.
This is the kind of things that I expect from Cap God.
This is Cap God.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. Apparently, Iceborne has like you can get like homes and stuff, and so
Mm-hmm.
it looks like you can have a home that's like based on the Spencer Mansion, which is super cool.
Bruh.
Um, but yeah, this definitely brings me back to like Capcom of old, and I love when they do stuff like this. It's super goofy and just fantastic.
Dude, you said no one's having sex, but I came. Like that is the best, and it's the type of thing where it's like for some people who new to Monster Hunter, they're like, why, right? It's like in this case, it's like because Capcom, like literally
Yeah.
because both for Capcom IPs, but
So
uh,
I think you can have a squad now in Monster Hunter World with like Dante, Leon, and Claire. You can have the
mm-hmm,
Mega Man, fucking Palico.
mm-hmm.
Just get all your fucking Capcom warriors in there.
The weirdest part, no Virgil, no Virgil
Yeah,
skin. You can be
yeah,
fucking Geralt from The Witcher. Uh,
yeah. I played that quest. That quest is super goofy.
Dude, that is amazing. Like any amount of detail to it, like that's like a actual RPG quest almost. Some of the stuff you do, and the fact that it's actually like voice acted by him too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
I
that's
wish
gonna be really cool.
I wish the Dante skin also was like, you know, I love DMC3 Dante, but like we can move on from that, you know? We had it in
Yeah,
Infinite
that's
too. It's like DMC3 Dante again. And
mm-hmm.
Infinite
That's
definitely
always gonna be it.
Infinite should have just had Nero instead of Dante, but that's a whole other debate.
Do you think so? Really?
Do at that point,
Really?
yeah, I think Nero should have been in there. I think Nero would be a fantastic fighting game character. He's got some shit.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got some
definitely.
he's got some moves.
But I'm like, listen, it's still Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Uh, I don't agree or disagree with that. I think I would have been totally happy to see Nero too, because he's awesome. Here's some Johnny Young Bosch.
Mm. Yeah, get Nero and Monster Hunter, please.
Yeah, get all three of them in there, please. Like, dude, that would be awesome. Like I considering you can use a longsword in Manhunt, I was legitimately surprised that there is no like Virgil skin just off of that alone. You know, um,
Dude, imagine a Virgil skin. Imagine they have like taunts and stuff in that game where you can like actually do stuff. Like the taunts, like
mm-hmm.
you can dodge attacks and like do attacks with taunts and stuff.
Yep.
Imagine, if you will, a judgment cut and taunt for Virgil.
Yeah, huh? I can see it already. You
Uh,
get your gestures in there, all that. Like, dude, I'm
mhm.
picturing right now, right? How how the longsword has its weeb slashes and whatnot, right? Imagine one of those, and it's the judgment nut, and you just fucking slowly close and sheath
level
your sword,
level 5 judgment nut, please.
bruh. Like, I
Yeah, I
need
still
to go
need
clean up.
still need to play Iceborne. It's
Yeah.
another one of those things where it's like it's just a time sink, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like it's a fun grind, and it's one that I want to get to. Um, maybe like this December will be a good time for that.
Iceborne has been for me something that I'm gonna have to wait for as well because I'm on PC. So I'm waiting for PC Iceborne, but it feels less sad than like waiting for Borderlands 3 to not be an Epic exclusive. Um, because it just gives you time to actually fucking grind up for stuff. Well, it gives me time. I can understand people who've been playing this since it came out on PC being like, I want that Iceborne. Fair enough, you know.
Oh, like in preparation of some of those Iceborne monsters and stuff.
Yeah, because shit's gonna be way harder. This is like G rank for Monster Hunter, basically, right? How there's like Monster Hunter 4, then 4 Ultimate. That's what this basically is. And the new tier like difficulty being called Master Rank is basically G rank, right? And it's kind of interesting because there's G rank monsters, and then there's tempered and arc tempered G rank monsters, to my understanding. And Arc-tempered monsters already basically two-shot you.
Yeah, they
So
fuck your shit up.
Oh,
They
this
fuck your
is
shit up.
scary.
I remember trying
Yeah.
like arch-tempered Devil Joe, and it's like, no, I can't. I can't. You have to fucking you have to send like the flare and get some Japanese hero in to fucking
Yes.
save your ass.
Yep.
That's how it always goes with the monsters you can't beat. You send the flare up, and then like some Japanese hero, like
Mm-hmm.
master monster hunter player comes in. It's just like here's how to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know, like I it's so funny because that's like the truest shit in the world. Um so you know that's interesting. But I'm you know, a lot of people would like spoilers, so to speak, for certain games. Like take even for instance Borderlands 3, be like, I don't want to hear that this gun is back in the game, right? Just
It's like
because it's
hyper
one of those,
spoilers.
yeah, you just want to find out for yourself. In the case of Monster Hunter being like, yo, this monster got put in the game, this monster got put. I'm like, every damn time Capcom is listening so hard to everybody. And like it's a weird excitement because as much as there's excitement for my favorite monsters to be back, you know, I love Tigrex, fucking I say Tigrex, fight me. Um
I haven't played like any of the earlier Monster Hunters. I was waiting for it to come back to consoles.
mhm.
So I was really excited when Monster Hunter World was announced. Because it's a series that I wanted to get into for a while. Um, so yeah, every new monster is totally new for me. So
Mhm. Like I've been playing my first Monster Hunter that I ever played was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which is like Monster Hunter 2 basically. And I
on the
played it,
PSP, right?
yeah. It was on the PSP. I was playing it on my Vita though because it was free for PS Plus in like 2014 or something. And I played the shit out of it. And I'm blessed that the Vita has dual analogs because otherwise you would have had to use the D-pad and do what's called the claw to turn the
God,
camera, which is the worst shit in the world.
I forgot that the PSP only had one analog until you just said that. I totally forgot that fact.
That shit is like that is crazy. It's crazy. Like every time I look at the Switch controllers, I get pissed off. I'm like, what is this monstrosity? People really like the Switch controls. I mean, I have big man paws already, so like I worry about like just the size of it, but also just like the control placements and like button placements and stuff for stuff. Looking at
Mm.
that Switch Lite controller, and I'm like, bro, it's like a rectangle with like a bunch of buttons on it. It just looks weird,
I
you
haven't
know?
played many action games like in handheld mode on the Switch. It's mostly been like Fire Emblem, and I played Banner Saga on the Switch in handheld
Yeah,
mode. Any kind of action game, I pretty much play on the TV, but it works for like turn-based stuff, I think.
yeah. Dude, there needs to just be like a Yu-Gi. There is a Yu-Gi-Oh game, isn't there?
Sure, there's mountains of Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Yeah. Is the Switch touchscreen? Is that probably? I can't remember.
Probably. I
I
don't think
legit, I've never held the Switch.
I don't think I've ever. I think it might be there, but I don't think I've ever used it. Yeah, I
Huh.
think it is because I think like LA Noir, I was reading had like touchscreen implementation for
Interesting.
that. So yeah.
Switch is
All right.
just the final form of the Wii U. Fight me.
It really is. It yeah. The Wii U had to die for the Switch. Um. So our last topic here that I have is
Mm-hmm.
so P5 Royal is coming out.
Bruh.
P5 Royal is coming out, and they this is really weird because they've announced Atlas has announced this as DLC for your game that is a real release. It's like, why didn't you just include this in the game?
Mm-hmm.
But the protagonist from Persona 3 and the protagonist from Persona 4 are going to be battleable as challenge battles in P5 Royal. Not really sure like what the extent of this is. They're probably I imagine it's going to be similar to like the secret bosses um, in
Mm-hmm.
those games. So like probably similar to like Elizabeth in Persona 3. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool. It's always good to see those guys around. The P3
How'd you feel about? Sorry, go ahead.
the P3 model from the P3 protagonist seems to be the same model from the dancing game. So I'm still
Oh,
like,
really?
man, those character models are really nice. It'd be really nice if you maybe like remade Persona 3 with those really nice looking character models.
Oh,
Um,
Judgment Night.
yeah, I would definitely Judgment Nut for that. Um, they still need to do like a nice character model for the Persona 3 female protagonist because we definitely need to include that in there. Um,
FMC.
yeah, FemC for sure. Get that FemC in there. Um, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see those characters hanging around still.
That was really interesting because I haven't read too much about Persona 5 Royale, so I'm like, what is this? And I saw those screenshots and I'm like, they look really cool.
Mhm.
So what is this? Because you and I both know one of those is like, hmm, what you doing here? But I'm excited regardless. You know what I really wish, and I'm kind of surprised it never happened, even just as DLC, because DLC is DLC. Uh P3 Protag was never put into like either of the fighting games, was he?
No, I think that's because like canonically he's dead. I mean, spoilers for Persona 3. Um,
Those games are canon, aren't they?
yeah, they're like a it sucks. They're that weird canon, and the dancing game too is where well, I think the fighting games are like canon because they take place, all the P3 characters are older and stuff.
Yeah.
The dancing games have that weird canon where it's like it's canon, but it all took place in a dream that nobody remembers, so it doesn't
That
really
Persona Q
matter.
bullshit.
Yeah, and like nothing was gained and nothing was lost, so it's pointless. But
It's
yeah,
just
it
dancing. Just make it canon. Whatever.
um there was I feel like there was something like that was teased to where like they want to save the P3 protagonist from death or some shit. Because I think his body is like this is some deep lore, but I think his body is like still being used to hold Nick's back
Yeah.
from like fucking shit up.
Yeah, but what are you
But
gonna do? Take him back?
yeah,
Let Nick's back out?
it'll probably never come up again. But
I
yeah,
mean, he was
it
in that Jesus pose. Come on.
yeah, yeah, it definitely would be cool to see the P3 protagonist show up. Like, it'd be cool to see a Persona 5 arena.
Oh,
Um,
dude. That's what a lot of people were like, where's it at? A lot of people were expecting it.
they're making whoever makes the Muso games, I forget. They're doing the like Persona 5 Muso game. So maybe we'll get some in there. I imagine
Are
we'll
you
have
for
some.
real?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That it's funny because that game is coming to Switch. Um, but Persona 5 itself is not coming to Switch. Uh,
That's
yeah.
strange.
Yeah, Persona 5 is just totally curving Switch. It's funny because like they can technically put Joker in to Smash because of PQ
Mm-hmm.
PQ2 being on 3DS. So like, hey, we got
That's what I would.
Joker on we got Joker on. It's not even on Switch PQ. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just on 3DS. But yeah, we
Yeah.
got Joker in there, so we could put Joker in Smash. But
That's why I was explaining to some people who don't know the Smash rules of eligibility.
mhm.
Gotta be on the Nintendo product. Why technically Goku for Smash. Chrono for Smash. For real though. Put
Chrono would
Chrono
be
in there.
a great character for Smash. I'm pretty sure now that we're on Smash, I'm pretty sure that Dante is 100% going to be in Smash. Like it's I don't want to like hype myself up for it, but I like after they announced that they're making even more characters than the initial 5 that they promised, I'm like
Mm-hmm.
easy. Dante is easily going to be one of those slots, you
No,
know?
it's gonna be DMC Dante.
No, it's not. It's not going
It
to be
is
DMC
gonna be
Dante.
DMC.
It's not going
It's
to be
gonna
fucking Dino. Dino is never going to be in a video game ever again.
wait. No. I said DMC 3 Dante.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
It's
I thought
gonna
you
be
meant
him.
probably. I imagine here's like the dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like the prediction is that, they've been kind of unfortunately releasing each of the games on Switch one by one.
Yeah.
So they did DMC 1, they did DMC 2, um
Ooh, 3. I mean 2. Yeah.
So I imagine like they'll announce DMC3 coming to Switch eventually, and then be like, "Hey, here's Dante and Smash too," and it'll probably be DMC3 Dante. Um,
I bet if they announce DMC, if they announce Dante in Smash, alongside that announcement will be DMC, is what
yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah, for sure. And I would actually prefer like I think either Nero or Virgil would be way more fun to play as in Smash, but Dante will be good. Dante will be good.
Each one has like what is it, like up moves or what? I don't play Smash. Each of
I
his
don't either.
directional moves will just be a different weapon or something.
Yeah, I guess if they do DMC3 Dante, he'll have like Nevin and Beowulf and Agni and Rudra.
Yeah.
Or if Sakurai decides to make, hopefully he doesn't use any of the devil arms for 4 because I don't really like any of his devil arms for 4.
You don't like that briefcase?
No, I don't.
That's so cool though.
Like it's got some cool stuff. It's just it's kind of annoying to use.
Pandora's box.
Yeah, but
I hope it's DMC2 Dante. DMC2 is not good, but he looks cool.
Everyone says that DMC2 Dante looks cool, but he doesn't. He looks stupid.
I think he's too serious. Like that was one of the weird changes where even in DMC1 he was kind of serious, but like it wasn't that serious. And then they gave him that weird fucking coin. But as much as anybody can hate on DMC2, you gotta admit the improvements on movement in that game were fucking amazing.
I mean, somewhat. Like the stinger sucks in DMC2. When you do a stinger and don't hit an enemy, he's like, oh, he like does a stumble, which is it's ridiculous. Like, why do we need this,
motherfucker?
Yeah. And like you don't even need any of the weapons. All you need are your fucking guns, and you can complete that game.
That's something Dante would say canonically, anyways. All I need is ebony and ivory.
No, I don't think so. He likes his devil arms. I think it's canon.
Getting impaled by his devil arms.
I think it's canon that he like sells them afterwards, after the adventure, so he can pay for rent. So like the reason that he doesn't have like Cerberus and Agni and Rudra anymore is because he fucking sold them for pizza and rent money.
To who?
I don't know. To somebody. some fucking asshole.
Like who in the? I'd imagine they'd all like just be sitting on a wall in Devil May Cry, but I guess that's
no.
Okay, what about Sparta though? What do you do with that? Are you gonna sell Sparta?
He gave that to Trish.
Ooh, that's true.
He gave that to Trish, and then things happen with it in 5, but you haven't played that yet because you're a scrub. So,
hey, fuck you, kid.
Sparta was 5. Sparta woke up to justice.
That's true.
Sparta was the king of justice and drop kicks. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he had a cool son named Vinny.
He did not actually. He did not have a cool son named Vinny. He had a cool son named Virgil, and Virgil never uses guns, except for that one time. But I'll tell you what, he never uses sniper rifles or anything.
He uses a sick car.
He doesn't. Virgil has never used a car or a sniper rifle.
I don't know about that. So, must have been a dream.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it probably was. Imagine a reality where they're like, okay, DMC1 for Switch, DMC2 for Switch, and you're like, okay, all right, DMC3, and they're like, all right, DMC Devil May Cry for Switch and Dino for Smash. Like, God damn it, because they put Dino in they put Dino in PlayStation All Stars. That was like,
yeah, they did.
That was some shit.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's funny. I think Dino was in PlayStation All Stars before he was even in his own game. I think that game came out before that reboot came out.
That is the worst. Like, yeah. Bro, come on.
Yeah.
Why haven't they made another PlayStation All Stars? Come on.
I mean,
it wasn't bad.
Smash already has it covered. Smash has fucking Cloud. It has Snake. It has Joker. If you want PlayStation All Stars 2, just
Snake considering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I can't. I'm not mad about it. Like when you look at it, it's like, where are your games at, Snake? Oh, yeah, okay. Because of that one, you remember that one time though? Yeah, fair enough.
Stuck in jail, Konami jail. But yeah, that's all. That's all the news. The news that I've got. I don't know if you had anything to add.
I have one thing that I have to piss my dick so bad.
Shut your ass up. I don't really give a shit. We're not going to talk about your shit.
Hey,
all right, come on.
Dragon Quest 11S recently came out on Switch. Go buy it. Dragon Quest is amazing. Dragon Quest 11 also fucking amazing.
I plan on playing that game at some point. I have the demo. And I played the demo for a bit.
Stream. Pussy.
I'm not going to stream that game. No.
You're a pussy.
I am a pussy. It's fine.
That's fair. Enjoy it in your own pace. Oh yeah, by the way, Square Enix, when are you guys gonna stop stealing Dragon Ball Z's art style for Dragon Quest? You guys are like
Toriyama does the character art still, I think, right?
No, I know I'm making fun of those people.
Oh, okay.
There are some people who legit don't know that, and like for years have been like, why are they ripping off Dragon Ball Z? He's been doing it since Chrono Trigger. Like, come That's always been funny to me. But yeah,
damn it.
Dragon Quest. People
fucking
are dumb.
Goku in my fucking Dragon Quest games. God damn it, get this shit out of here.
Oh, please.
Why can't I get someone that looks cool?
Trunks for Smash. Well, actually, fuck Trunks. And Sky, you're wrong. Super Saiyan 4 is dope as hell.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No Dragon Ball on this podcast, please. That's a number one rule. No Dragon Ball on this podcast.
I mean, Super is kind of the greatest anime ever.
It probably is. I've heard great things about it.
No, you motherfucker.
Okay, well that's gonna be an episode. That was a podcast. That was a thing that happened.
That was a podcast.
That was a podcast. Hopefully this doesn't fuck up and I can actually upload it because I'm recording. Yeah. I'm recording not in Audacity. Normally I record in Audacity, so we'll see. We'll see how this works. But thank you for coming on with me, Habari. This was great. You're a great guest.
Thanks.
You're a fun dude. You. People should check you out. Shill your shit again. Where can they find you? What are you going to be playing for the next couple weeks?
You can actually find me at pornhub.com/Habari-sama.
You gotta get that My Free Cams account. People are more likely to subscribe to you there than they are on Pornhub. I found.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, no, but no, seriously, you can find me on twitch.tv/Habari-sama_. And Twitter, also at Habari-sama_. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So, yeah, I play the bad games. Mm-hmm. I'm also bad at streaming, but I'm a nice person, so that hopefully balances it out.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm good at video games, but I'm a bad person. I am. I don't use the Game Shark. I know you're required to use the Game Shark because otherwise
you couldn't get clapped in MGS.
Because otherwise you couldn't complete games. But I'm actually good at video games. It's just that I'm a bad person and I eat children. But people come for the good video games. They don't come for me. Whereas your streams, they come for you. They don't come for the video games. So
everyone comes for me. All right. You use health items in DMC. Don't talk to me.
I was drunk, dude. I'm
not trying to hear it.
I was 16 drinks in. Come on.
Should have took that L.
I was 16 drinks in, and I had to wake up for a call back, and I just wanted to end the stream. That's the only reason I did it. I was like, I don't want to fucking fight this boss anymore. I'm drunk. I can't speak. I was at the point where it was like, I was at that stereotypical drunk like point where it's just like, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys know that I love you so much. And I had to wake up early, and I did. I woke up a few hours later and emptied myself in the toilet from both ends. That was fun. Oh, wow. And then went to that callback, fucking hung over as shit. That was fun. But
Proud of
I gotta do that again. I gotta do a drunk stream again. That was really fun.
I don't drink, so I can't do that.
Mm.
I'm a
I gotta
coward.
do it. I gotta do it with something that I'm not, or we gotta find some better rules because I was doing it with Dark Souls and I was using the Cestus to make it like harder.
Hmm.
Um, because those
Really?
fist
The
weapons,
balls
yeah.
on this motherfucker.
Well, because those fist weapons have like, because I did the no death run, so it's like if I just played the game with like the rapier, then I'd end the game and never have a drink.
Hmm.
So I had to mix it up. But I think I died like 5 times. But by the end of the stream, I was like 16 drunks, 16 drinks in. I was just
Nah.
taking, I was just taking funsy drinks. Blue was encouraging me to do that.
Yeah, I think some of them were trying to throw you off with the numbers because I think you
Yeah,
like lost count at one point.
I do think at the end too. I was like, wait, am I at 16 or 15? They're like, yeah, you're at 16.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
no
okay,
cheese in
sure.
there. I'm like, oh man, this
Hmm.
guy. You guys are gonna get my boy like alcohol poisoning. They'll do it to him. I saw that like I was like, oh no, already when I saw that tweet and that bottle of Jägermeister, I'm like, oh, this guy, he's gonna die on stream.
Gonna die on stream. I'll be the
That was
legend.
so yeah. You know, has no one died on stream?
No, people have definitely died on stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like for
I'd be
sure.
actually surprised if that's not happened in the history of Twitch.
I
Huh.
don't know like specifics, but I'm almost certain that it has happened.
Rest in peace, whoever. Amen.
But definitely people have died on my stream for sure. I've eaten some
Oh.
children on my stream. So you can
Mm-hmm.
find me. I'm also on Twitch. I'm at SuperHypeGaming.
Ooh.
You should follow my Twitter account. My Twitter account is probably better than my Twitch channel, to be honest with you.
It
Um,
is.
that's also at SuperHypeGaming. Still doing the spooky stuff. Still doing spooky hype gaming. This week I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play Castlevania Lament of Innocence this week, which is a PS2 game. It's like a 3D Castlevania game, and my understanding is that it's got kind of similar to DMC Combat. Um,
Ooh.
so that should be fun.
What
It's
you
kind of like a
playing? Lords of Shadow, pussy.
no. I'm not gonna play Lords of Shadow. I will not. I
I
refuse to play
found the
Lords of
game to
Shadow.
be inoffensive personally.
I think the first game. I've heard that the first game is okay, and the second game is kind of shit. But
Hmm. Fair enough.
yeah, that'll be fun. And then this Saturday, I'm flying out to California. So unfortunately, I'll be gone for a week. Um, Going out to California for my work trip.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that'll be fun though. It's like a work trip, but it's gonna be kind of a break for me because I won't be able to stream. Um, I
It's
won't be able
true.
to like come home from work and stream. I thought about bringing like my Elgato and stuff and maybe streaming some Switch games, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna take that a week
Dude, just
off.
relax. Be lazy.
Um, I want to get some time into Fire Emblem, so but
Oh yeah.
it'll
Three
be
houses?
yep. I'm like 16 hours in. I played that a lot on like the plane when I went up to New York for the mountain trip.
Oh nice.
But yeah, it'll be cool. So the training is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But we're flying up Saturday, so I'll have like a couple days in Cali to kind of F off and do some stuff and hang out. So that'll be cool.
Should be nice.
I love to travel. I really love traveling so much.
I've always been in a car, so I always hated it.
Mm,
Even going to
yeah.
Chicago, this is the worst. I'm a tall dude.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I've done the car ride from Georgia to New York, and
Oh my god, dude.
it's pretty rough.
Kill
Pretty
me
rough.
now.
Yeah, just thinking about it is like, ugh, I got the cramps again.
Man, dude, and it's always in a cramped car for me. Like that's always like been like part of the bigger problem. And like sitting in the back of some cars, sitting in the back seat, bumpy roads, your head smacking against the top of the roof, like all that
Mhm.
shit. It's just not a good ride. Um, I want to travel though. I'd like to go to some places. I got some friends in some places that I gotta go visit.
Yeah, you gotta go visit Gobi. Gotta go visit Blue and Pip Girl.
Yeah, I do. Oh yeah, she streamed Dark Souls. That was the best. Did you watch that? Were you there? You were there.
I want to catch her next time. I wasn't able to. I saw that she was doing it.
Super good.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying that just commentating was like the worst.
Yeah,
the hardest part of it, not playing the game, but
it's better than me. That's for sure.
yeah, people should definitely check out your Discord. There's a lot of fun smaller streamers in there, and a lot of cool people, and some people that are truly some good friends of mine now. So yeah, that's a podcast. Thank you guys for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you thank you for joining me today, Habari. I really appreciate it. We went pretty long today. It's kind of cool. It's like, having a second person on here really I can drink water, we can go for longer, we can do some bits. I meant to do a bit with you. All right, I meant to do a bit with you, but I forgot. But we can do an ending bit, because it's hard to do bits by myself. But this is a new bit that I want to do for the podcast. So this bit is called has Capcom announced Virgil DLC for DMC5? So I will ask you as my guest, has Capcom announced Virgil DLC for DMC5?
To my knowledge, we have news of Vinny from the...
Okay, so that's going to be today's podcast today, guys. Thank you guys for coming by. Make sure if you want to support the podcast, you eat all the children that you see in your vicinity. Thank you.
I'm ready. I don't think so. No way. No, honey. Hey, Nesquik. Okay. This will be fun. Here you go.
Moms and kids agree on Nestle Nesquik. Kids love the taste, and you'll love Nesquik because it's fortified to help build strong bones. Nestle Nesquik. Kid delicious, mom nutritious. Try ready-made Nesquik. Everything you love about Nesquik in the dairy aisle.